Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another swatch and review here. So today I have a swatch and review of 3 scented nail polish sets from Nails Inc. And you guys know Hillary loves a really good scented nail polish. She loves everything weird. And these are like holiday themed, so I thought that would be kind of fun because the holidays are upon us. I scooped these up kind of on a whim off their site. The Cute But Cookie is their newest one, and I picked that up, and then I saw they had a couple others. So we have this one is called Sweet Nail Candy, and then the other one is called Nail Spice, and they are peppermint and gingerbread respectively. So we've got cookie, peppermint, and gingerbread polishes for you, and they are all very scented. Now, if you'll recall, Nails Inc. did release a Velveeta Duo this summer. I reviewed it. I got the box right up here. I'll link to that in the cards if you're interested. I love a weird polish, and so that was no exception. And I just thought they did so much of an interesting thing with that maybe I should try some of their other scented polishes and see how they hold up. So Nails Inc. sells quite a lot of 4-piece sets. They have lots of them for summer, spring, all kinds of different color sets like neons and things like that. These ones are specifically scented and holiday themed. I just thought that would be fun. They are $22 for the set of 4, and each set has kind of an ombre of colors, each with their own scent. So this is the Cute But Cookie one. It's cookie scented, whatever that means, very vague. There's a lot of different cookies out there, and it's kind of like an ombre of brown, but it does have this gold glitter in here. The Nail Spice set is the gingerbread themed set, and again, this one is probably more of an ombre than the other ones. These look a little bit more similar on camera, I think, than they do in real life. One looks warmer and one looks cooler. And then we have the Sweet Nail Candy one. This is the peppermint one. I am not a red person. I don't know why I bought this one. I really wanted to smell the peppermint nail polish, and this is like a super light pink, another regular pink, and then 2 reds, and just great for Skittle manicures and things like that. So without further ado, let's get into the live swatches. I'll show you the full hand swatches, and then I will talk to you about my thoughts at the end, as well as the scents. So up first, we have the Cute But Cookie quad, and this is the newest quad. The first polish in this quad is called Chip Street. It's a very, very pale pink, or maybe even like a tan, very light nude color. A little bit sheer on that first coat, but with that second coat, it does deepen up. It becomes more opaque, and I feel like you cannot see the visible nail line at all. Polish number 2 is called Baker's Passage, and this is kind of like the chocolate chips in the cookie. It is a light kind of milk chocolatey brown, and it is a lot more opaque on that first coat, but you can see we still do need a second coat for full opacity. A lot of the formulas in these quads are very similar, so most of the creams are going to swatch pretty much the exact same. Here's the full hand swatch. Then we have Sugar Lane. This is the only non-cream finish in the collections here, and it is a gold glitter on that first coat, kind of sparse, but doesn't seem to need to be sponged on. You're gonna see it in 2 coats in my live swatch, but the full hand swatch is 3 coats, and I feel like with 3 coats, you can't really see much of the nail. It's pretty good glitter. Finally, in this quad, we have Bakery Close, and this is a really, really, really dark brown to the point where it almost reads black, but you can kind of see that hint of brown in it. It is more of a jellyish kind of polish, and so you can see on that first coat, it is very streaky, but with that second coat, full opacity, no need to worry. But like I said, it is a very, very dark polish. You can kind of see the brown pulling through in my swatch photo, but it is dark. Next, we have the Nail Spice quad, and this one is called Pudding Lane. We have another very light color. This one leans less pink and more white. It's kind of like a milky cream color, and just like the first quad, that first coat is very thin. The second coat does build up, but I do feel like this one is a little bit more streaky than the other one. And I feel like it looks like straight up milk on your nails. You know what I mean? Then we have Bread Street, and this is a very, very light tan. This is kind of a more nude leaning quad than the first one. I guess the first one was pretty nude leaning, save for that glitter. But this is another one of those where we're going to need 2 coats. The second coat builds it up, and it is far less streaky than the first polish. And here we have the full hand swatch. It is a very, very light nude tone. Then we have Honey Lane, and this is kind of like the warm version of Bread Street. I feel like next to each other, the colors do look quite similar in the bottle, but the first one is a little bit cooler, and this one has a much warmer tone, and it is kind of caramely almost. It reminds me of like caramel or caramel or however you want to say it, and it fits in with that sweets theme. But here is the full hand swatch. And then we have Nutmeg Lane, and this one is kind of a rustier, orangey leaning brown. It looks very, very orangey on camera, but once you see the full hand swatch, you'll see that it is more brown leaning than orange, but I feel like it could be confused for an orange. Again, very similar cream formula to the previous creams, but the nutmeg name I think does suit this polish. And then for our final quad, which is called Sweet Nail Candy, they have these reflective caps, and this one is called Sugar House Lane. This is all pinks and reds, and this is the lightest pink, the like most baby pink of all the baby pinks out there. It's like powder pink, and it leans almost white. I would probably think this was white if it didn't come in a red and pink set. And you can kind of see that pink pulling through. Our next darkest pink is called Treat Street, and this one is a lot more recognizable as a pink. And again, this one is the same cream formula as the rest of them. These ones smell super pepperminty, like to the point where you can't even smell the polish while you're painting it because it just straight up smells like peppermint essential oil, which is actually honestly a good thing. And I don't even care for peppermint scents that much. And here is the full hand swatch. And then we're getting into the reds. We have Noel Street, and this is kind of your bright Christmas Santa Claus hat red. It does have a more jelly leaning formula than the other ones. I'm not sure why, but it seems like every red of this tone that I own is a jelly, or like a jelly leaning formula, a crully, if you will. And you can kind of see the nail line even on that second coat, but in certain lights, it's not discernible. The final and deepest color in this quad is called Peppermint Place. And this one, again, just like the previous red, it is that more jelly-ish formula. It's just like kind of the exact same as Noel Street, but a couple steps down in tone. And when you wear these as a Skittle, you know, you can definitely see the difference in all these colors. But when you're swatching them one right after another, sometimes it can be a little bit hard to discern in your head. But you can tell here it is richer and darker than Noel Street. So what did you guys think of the collections? Like I said earlier, this is the same brand that released that super divisive Velveeta collaboration in the summertime that I loved and a lot of people seemed to not so much agree with me on. But I think that these scents fall into a much more normal realm, so I don't think that people will be as torn up about these as they were about the Velveeta ones, because let me tell you, there were some like beauty influencers that were like, who asked for this? And I'm like, girl, me, it was me. But there are some people who are just fully anti-scented nail polish, so they're gonna hate these either way, and I can understand that for a couple of reasons. First is like scent sensitivity. Some people are just really sensitive to any sort of fragrance and any sort of product. It gives them headaches, gives them migraines, makes them nauseous. So like, definitely you guys avoid these. Don't touch these. You will not like these. They will make you sick. Then there are just people who I disagree with, but I totally understand. And they're like, it's just gross that your fingernails would smell like something. I'm like, yeah, I guess it is a little bit weird, but I think it's fun. I've just always been one of those kids who loved scented stuff. I loved scratch and sniff stickers. My grandma bought us those like scented markers, and she'd be like, now don't sniff the marker directly. And then we'd be like, okay, grandma. And then we'd come out and like, there'd be like marker all over our noses because we were literally sniffing the markers. Loved that for me. I just love a silly gimmicky novelty, you know? So from that respect, these are absolutely right up my alley. However, this is a review and I have to look at this from kind of an unbiased stance. So I'm going to talk about the positives and some of the negatives that I came across while playing with these and swatching them out and just spending some time with them. So let's start with the positives because I love ending on a negative note. That's just me. And the first positive is, for me, that they are scented. I love a scented polish. I love a scented anything. It's my favorite gimmick. I just went on a rant about that. We don't need to rehash it 2 seconds later. But this is just a gimmick that I will absolutely love in conjunction with any finish it's with. The other thing for me is the ombre setup. I like that. I feel like that's a really big positive. On the back of each box, they show a little example of just an ombre look that you can do with these polishes. It's really nice, makes for a really easy Skittle manicure. I don't know about you guys, but I personally am terrible at coordinating a Skittle manicure. I feel like when I see other people do them, they look so well curated, especially when they're like mixing different colors, like they're not doing just a plain like, this is a red ombre, this is a blue ombre. Those I can kind of handle. But when they're mixing a few different colors or even like different colors and different finishes, for me, it just looks like when they do it, it looks perfect. It looks very well curated. It looks very specific, like they made very deliberate choices. And when I do it, it looks like a kid just let loose in their mom's nail polish collection and picked things blindfolded at random. So having a set that is like, here's your ombre, don't think about it, perfect, ideal, I love it. The other positive I had was the price point, because $22 for 4 polishes I felt was really good because that breaks down to $5.50 per polish. These are 14 milliliter bottles, so that's a pretty good price. And for like this specific one that has the glitter, you could use this as a topper in one coat over the other 3. You could build this up on its own and wear it on its own. You could do that for all of these, wearing like individual, just this color mani, just this color mani, just this color mani. You can mix and match a lot of stuff. And I feel like this one has a lot of longevity from it, just from 3 plain colors and a gold glitter. Another point I felt is that these could be fun for a variety of age groups. I'm 30 and I'm obsessed, so like I'm sure there's another 30-year-old out there who's like, I would love to have this. I'm sure there's a 50-year-old who would be like, I would love these, you know? And then there's also a 12-year-old who is like, yes, I want scented glitter, you know? It's bringing us all together across the spectrum of ages. I think it would make for a versatile gift, and this is actually going to be on my holiday gift guide coming out in December, so look forward to that as well. The last positive I wanted to mention was actually the brushes. I rarely talk about brushes on this channel because I have never like met a brush that I couldn't use. I find that I can make any brush work. I just have to learn the way the brush works, you know, but I do have preferred brush styles, and this has my preferred brush style. So these have that kind of medium to wideish shaped brush with the curved end that for me personally, it fits perfectly into the shape of my cuticle base. And that means for me, minimal cleanup if I paint it right, because it fits right in there and I just pull it out and then I have the perfect little C curve right at my cuticle. And I don't have to worry too much about cleanup, which especially for a red, I struggle with. So I like that. Plus, sometimes I just don't want to do cleanup. I've reached a point where I'm like, whatever, it looks good enough. It's fine. No one's going to say anything. So these are my ideal brushes. All right. And so now on to the negatives. Because like I said, this is a review. We do have to highlight the bad points as well. And I love doing that. So let's do it. Now, some of these might not be negatives for you, but these were something that I would see as negatives for someone like myself with my type of collection, even collections smaller than mine. These might still be negatives for you. And the first one would be, you know, these are very common colors to have in your collection. If you have a larger collection, you might have these like 6 times over. For me, luckily, I don't have a ton of browns. That's like a section of my collection where I'm kind of lacking. And so I got quite a multitude of a range of brown nudes, which is really nice. I like having that on hand. And especially because I'm trying to make an effort to try and have like people over and have like polish parties, and I want everybody to be able to wear what they want. And if they want to wear a nude, I want to be able to have everybody's kind of ideal skin tone nude. So something like this definitely helps with that. But for the most part, they're very plain colors and they're very common colors apart from like maybe the glitter. So you may already have a lot of these in your collection. The other thing that I think would typically be a negative for me, and maybe not for everybody, just depends on your preferred finish, is that, you know, 2 out of the 3 of these are all cream sets. So we've got like the reds is all cream, the gingerbread one is all cream, and then the cookie one, it has a gold glitter in it, but then 3 creams. I think that if these weren't scented, actually I know if these weren't scented and they were like this cream heavy, I wouldn't have bought them because I don't know. Like for me though, the scent is the gimmick that sucked me in. And so I don't mind that they're not as varied in finish, but if they didn't have that scent in them, I would not have bought these. I'm just no longer in my cream era. Actually, like this one I think is built well. Having that one glitter in it kind of makes it like the accent nail or something like that. And I think that the other 2 could benefit from something like that. But that is definitely a subjective opinion. Now, the last complaint I have is the dark brown in this one. It's called Bakery Clothes. I mean, on screen, do you think that's brown? Does that look brown? This is my hair is brown. Does this look brown? Can you see? No, it doesn't look brown. In real life, it looks like a very deep, chocolatey, rich brown. Like a deep kind of mahogany, I guess. But it's almost not discernible in the bottle itself, and on the nail it looks to me like straight up black, and it was a little bit on the streakier side during application. So I wish that this particular color was just a touch lighter, I guess. In the spectrum of the set, I think it looks nice, but on its own I just am not excited by it. And again, that's kind of like a personal thing, but I just feel like I just wish it was a little bit lighter. Then again, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I'm trying to talk myself out of it, but I just realized like it says it's cookie scented, right? And it's covered in chocolate chip cookies. And maybe that's the chocolate chips, I guess. That's how we'll justify it. I still wish it was a little bit lighter though. I like milk chocolate chips. So in regards to the scents, I do actually have a ranking for you. And number 1, the best scent in my opinion was from the Cute But Cookie, the cookie scented nail polish set. It smells a little bit like a sweeter, maybe kind of like frosting or like a sweet baked good type scent. However, it's not sickly or too artificial, which I feel like with sweet scents, you do run into that from time to time, whether it be perfume or candles or whatever. Sometimes stuff just feels a little bit like too ooey gooey, like sugary. And this was not the case for me with this. And I guess you'd call it what, a gourmand scent. Like I have a kind of a half and half like love for gourmands and a hate for gourmands. The candle I have right now, ooh, it's iced lemon pound cake, and it's a sweet scent, and smelling that just gave me like a weird nauseous headache. And sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't, but I have been playing with these for several days now, and every single day I have liked the scent, so I feel like it's a pretty chill, sweet scent. Number 2 on my list would be the peppermint ones, the sweet nail candy. They're like a candy cane. This is by far the strongest scent out of the 3. Peppermint is just a very strong scent to begin with. I don't typically love peppermint that much, and I don't like the flavor of it pretty much at all. But in this kind of setting, it was pretty pleasant to smell. I knew I probably wouldn't hate it because I did buy the peppermint Shop NBM Cuticle Buddy, and I ended up enjoying that a lot more than I thought I would. However, a lot of times I would put the peppermint nail oil on, and then I would touch my eyes and get peppermint oil in my eyes, and that was horrible. So don't do that. But usually when it comes to scented nail polish, you can smell like a hint of it while it's wet, but you're really overpowered by like the chemical scent of the nail polish. But this one, the peppermint smell overpowered the smell of the nail polish in a very pleasant way. So it is like blocking out all the kind of gross nail polish smell, and all you could smell was peppermint, and it was kind of nice. It was like a fun little spa self-care experience while painting my nails red. And then sadly, number 3, I think the worst smelling one, would be the gingerbread nail spice one. I was really excited for this one because I love gingerbread. I make gingerbread cookies every year for Christmas, and I make a gingerbread house every year for Christmas, and me and my boyfriend decorate it, and he eats half the candy as we're decorating it. But I was really expecting this to smell like brown sugar or molasses or something like that. But there's just something I can't put my finger on with these, that it makes it smell just a little bit artificial, a little bit plasticky. I don't know how to describe it, but it didn't smell like gingerbread at all. It smells sweet and it doesn't smell bad, but it does have like that kind of overwhelming sweetness that this one does not. And so if you're looking for a sweet scent, I would say skip the gingerbread one and go straight for the cookie scent. If you don't like sweet scents, I would say hit up that peppermint one. As for picking a favorite, I don't know if I really can. They're pretty plain. Like I said, I do like having this range of browns from both of these, but I think that because the new one, the Cute But Cookie one, has my favorite smell, and it has kind of the more diverse range of finishes, and by diverse range I mean it has one different than the rest of them. I would say the Cute But Cookie one is probably my favorite. If you're big into reds or peppermint though, this one is very fun, and I think that it would be very easy to use this to make like a candy cane manicure if you don't have like a full range of these types of colors. It'd be perfect. All you need is a little bit of striping tape, or you could use regular tape that you have on hand at home. So that would be fun. And then, I don't know, like I said, I was so looking forward to this one, but the smell it wasn't really the best. But I will be happy to add this kind of range of nudes into my collection. So yeah, that's going to be it from me. Let me know down below what you thought of these collections. Let me know if you are interested in Nails Inc. at all. I have only, before this, purchased 3 polishes from them, and 2 of them were the Velveeta ones. So I feel like I'm still kind of getting a feel for the brand and their formula and things like that. So if you have any information about them that you want to share, let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!